Well, of course, anytime you ceramic tile a bathroom, the first thing you must have is a bathroom, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that helps. So we have a mock-up of a bathroom here in the studio, complete with bathtub and drywall and your faucet handles and everything. And this is where you have to begin. Now, I've already put one wall up with mastic to show, so I can show you a little bit later on how you put the grout on the face of the tile. So the first thing we have to do, forget about this already being up. Let me show you how to start on the other wall. Of course, you have to remove the handles that control the water. Now, you don't have to worry about turning the water off on this particular thing, but you just have some screws there that you remove, one right on the end, and then the thing that fits up against the wall will turn right off. This one is new, so it comes off quite easily by hand. If yours has been around for a number of years, you may have to use a wrench.
But all faucets will come off, right?
Well, pretty much of them. They come off mostly the same way.
those made in the last 100 years or so.
Oh, they'll come off. But it's just a matter of looking at them and trying to figure out what the best way is to take them off. But you take these off so you can put the tile right up around the pipe here. See, the tile will go right around, but you don't have to make it a snug fit because you have this large flange that covers up the irregularities in your tile. So you can be off as much of a ½ inch when you fit your ceramic tile around there, and you'll never notice it.
Faucet makers are very thoughtful and considerate.
Very clever, aren't they? All right, but now after you've taken the hardware off the wall, the next thing you must do is apply the mastic to the wall, which is going to hold your ceramic tile.
And this is mastic. I call it goo, but I guess
well,
the proper term is mastic.
It's a terrible looking stuff.
It is.
And it's a kind of adhesive or mastic that will hold ceramic tile in place. Now, what you do, you take a notch trowel similar to this one. Notice the little notches here, they're about 1/8 of an inch deep. And these notches are going to help spread an even coat of mastic all over this wall. The notches are there so you're not going to leave too much mastic on the wall, and so the mastic will not come squishing through into the face of the tile. But it really goes on fairly easily, and you just start in. Now, because the mastic takes several hours to set up, you don't have to worry about getting ahead of yourself on it. This is the messiest of all the jobs that you're going to do in putting in ceramic tile. But make sure you have the mastic close around all the pipe connections. And,
it'll come off if you get a little messy there.
Well, if you take it off...
Not that I'm implying that you are, my dear.
If you take it off before it dries,
yeah,
it'll come off quite readily. If you wait 2 or 3 hours and then try to get it off, it can be a problem. It can be more of a job, I guess. But make sure the coat is fairly even here. And then after you've coated the biggest part of the wall, or at least the area where you're going to put the tile, the hardest part is over. Now, when you put ceramic tile on a wall, there are a number of ways to do it. If you're going to have an open space over here, and you're not coming over to butt against another wall, I would start from the corner and simply start with full-size tiles. But if you're going to put it in between two walls, you need to find the center point of the wall and start from the center. But any book on ceramic tile will explain to you how you can find the center of a wall so you'll know where to start, so your tiles will be the same width here as they are on this side. But in this case, we do not need to do that. So what you start doing, put a level up first, similar to this one. Hold your level up to your wall and find your straight line. Now, you want a level line right here, and this is going to be the first line you'll start. The tiles are 4 1/4 inches square, so draw a pencil line right along the top of your level, and that's the line that you want to follow. And you'll notice that underneath the mastic, the pencil lines will show through, so you can put your mastic right over top and still see your pencil line that you've drawn there. All right, now you start sticking the tile up, and you simply take a tile and press it slightly. Now, used to be, when you put up ceramic tile, you had to use toothpicks in between each tile, so you'd leave a grout joint.
Oh, I see, but you don't do that anymore.
No, because they've become quite ingenious, and on each one of the tiles there's a little bump right here. And let's see, can you see let me turn it a little more at an angle. There's just a little bump in 2 places on the tile that separates the tile enough that it makes an automatic grout joint.
That's very clever.
Yeah, so just go right ahead and butt them right up next to each other, like that. And then you start the second tier right above there. The only thing you have to watch when you put these up, you want to make sure that all of the grout joints line up both horizontally and vertically. And just go right on up and see ceramic tile in a bathroom, or this part of it, isn't
yeah, but wait till you get to the
very
faucets.
difficult at all. You keep bringing that up. You do have to notch the tiles out when you get around a faucet, no doubt about that. And that is a little stickier part of the job. But if you have a little patience and a little time, you shouldn't have a great deal of
And this
difficulty.
mastic will stay
in doing
usable
that.
for some time, so you don't have to rush.
But see, you can go right on up, and you don't necessarily have to put them where they adjoin. And you can stick that one right in there, like so. And here's a place where we have to notch out a couple of tiles. Now, of all the ways to notch out a tile, this is probably the hardest one, because you have to take a notch right out of this part of the tile. You're going to ruin 3 or 4 of them when you do it. And what you do to notch them out, you use a pair of nippers, which you buy at a ceramic tile store. And this is just a pair of pliers with sharp edges on them. And you grasp the tile with the nippers like that, and slowly, very slowly, let me turn it over, very slowly start nipping away.
You know, I thought nipper was an English term for a little boy until you did.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, they say, "Oh, isn't he a cute little nipper?" or something like that. I thought you were kidding when you called those nippers the first time.
But ceramic tile is really a clay base which has a glazed surface on it. And if you're very, very patient
Yes.
and very careful, this is where it gets a little bit sticky.
Because you can easily break the whole tile.
Yeah, but they're
right?
very cheap too, so it doesn't cost that much. Need just a little bit more.
I like your selection of colors for this.
You like the blue?
The blue is very pretty. Yes. Yes. How much are tiles? Are they? Do they
Oh,
range?
There are all price ranges, depending on the quality of the tile, the thickness of the tile, the color combination you're going to have, and there are many variables on tile. There we go.
That's
Now
lovely.
see, that fits right in, and it didn't take that long, and I was rushing just a little bit in trying to do it because it's a television program. But then you can go ahead. I won't have time to do the other two, but just to give you, again, letting you see how it's done, you just simply press the tiles, put the tile up on the wall, and just press it a little bit. And the tile is going to adhere right to the mastic. Now, you have to, after you get the tiles up, you want to let the tiles, just leave them alone for, overnight, or 24 hours is even better, because then the mastic sets up better. And you know, you can do this on the ceiling too, with no other addition. You can simply put the mastic on the ceiling, and the tiles will adhere to the ceiling just as readily as they will to the sidewalls. But now, there isn't any big mystery, is there, in putting up ceramic
No, you make
tile?
it look rather simple.
Well,
but,
it is rather simple. You know, it has to be simple for me to be able to do it. Doesn't it look like thick whipped cream?
It looks like mud to me.
That's right. This is a grout. It's a dry powder that you buy at your ceramic tile store. Let me get it down here and you can see it. You mix it with water, and you get it at about this consistency. Now, I have a rubber glove on because most of this stuff is made of lime, and it will indeed burn your hand if you use, you know, just your ordinary skin. So put on a rubber glove and mix it up, and I don't know, maybe it's because used to make mud pies as a kid, but I kind of enjoy getting my hands and stuff like that and getting it messy. The other tool you need for grouting is a squeegee like this, a small 6-inch rubber
Is
squeegee.
that really called a squeegee, Wally, or is that your
Well, that's
term
what
for
I call it.
Okay.
I call it a squeegee. So what you do to grout, don't worry about getting it on the face of the tile. And just put a handful and smear it on the wall.
Oh, that looks like fun, Wally. Wouldn't our little boy like to
He
get
would.
his hands in that?
Now, you take the squeegee and simply start moving it around. Now, you don't have to worry when you do a bathroom like this, because the excess grout is going to fall right down on the tub. And if you don't wait 2 or 3 weeks to take it out, well, you can wash it out with water.
Are you implying I'm not a good housekeeper?
Well, no, I'm just saying, you know, that it isn't, the grout is probably the least problem of all in putting in ceramic tile, and it's kind of fun. But you can take your hand and push it around too. And when you do this, this presses the grout right down into the cracks. And this mix could be just a little bit stiffer, but this is all right. It'll just take a little longer to dry.
By stiffer, you mean I shouldn't have put so much water in it
Yeah,
when I
I could have
mixed
had
it?
a little less water.
Okay.
But now watch. That gives enough on to give you an example. Now take the squeegee and come down diagonally. And there you have it.
Wally, you should do this the day after you put the tile and the mastic up.
That's right. Let the tile set for at least 24 hours before you try to put the grout in. Now, It's very, I hate books. Books used to say, make sure you do a good job grouting the tile. And you go, God, what do they mean? Well, what they mean when they say make sure you do a good job grouting is make sure that all the cracks are filled, and make sure they're filled well. So you come right on down, and when you press with the squeegee, this in turn presses the grout right into the cracks. Now, they look a little overly full, and I'll show you how to handle that thing in a second. Meanwhile, let's grout a little bit more. The nice part about ceramic tile, as opposed to slate and some of the other stuff, is that ceramic tile does indeed have a glazed surface. So this grout mess won't really stick to a glazed surface, and that's why it stays in the cracks and not on the front. But just pull it right on down.
Now, even after you're taking the grout off with your squeegee, there is a little film covering the ceramic tile, but that can be washed off. Is that correct?
Remember the panic you had when you walked in the bathroom the day after I'd finished grouting it and the whole bathroom looked white?
I know. Yes.
But it's almost like a dust.
Yeah, and it came off. As I recall, I was the one who did the final cleaning.
Oh, did you really?
Yes, that was my contribution to the bathroom.
All right, now there are two things you can do at the bottom. This is where, down along this crack here, is 9 times out of 10 is where the grout joint always breaks loose first and comes out. That's because if you put water in the bathtub and then add another couple hundred pounds, the bathtub settles just enough to break out this grout joint and leave you an ugly crack. I go ahead and put the grouting right in this crack and then take some of the new elastic products, bathtub caulk, which is a rubberized type stuff, and just run a bead of it right along here, and it'll never crack out, and it will never
That's for extra sealing.
Now, I think I have a sponge over here.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Now, after you've used the squeegee and let it just set up momentarily, take your sponge and go over the tile. And this is going to make your grout joints a little
more recessed, isn't it?
Yeah, a little more recessed. And you want them a little more recessed. You don't want them to be, you know, a ½ inch wide. So you go over it, wipe them down quite well. Use plenty of water, because this stuff is water-based, and water certainly isn't going to hurt it. So just wash it down well. And the more you rub on it...
And there's no danger of taking out too much of the grout, is there?
Not if you use a nice big flat sponge like this one. So see, you can just wash it right down. Now, as I say, tomorrow when you come in the bathroom, the thing is going to look like somebody painted it with white paint. Don't worry, just get out your sponge again, wash down the wall, and all the white will come off. You might have to wash it down 2 or 3 times, but you don't have to rub hard. This stuff is soluble in water, and it'll come out, and it'll end up looking pretty nice. What do you think, Natalie?
I think it looks nice now.
Doesn't it look nice? And you can, we have done this much in what, just a few minutes, so
That's right.
It isn't going to take you very long to ceramic tile your bathroom. You can put ceramic tile up over an existing wall, if it's drywall, providing the paint isn't flaking. You really shouldn't put it up over wallpaper. Soak the wallpaper loose before you install it. But again, the books on how to put up ceramic tile explain that for you too. There isn't any way we can take you through every step that you're going to have to go through to ceramic tile your bathroom. But I think we can show you what I consider to be the hardest parts of it, and maybe if you lose your fear of doing the hardest part, the rest of it shouldn't bother you at all. Would you try it, Natalie?
Oh, I certainly would. As
Would you
long as
like
I
it?
have you right here to help me.
So, fellas, you know, maybe the wives can really do it. If you say no, you know, give them a chance to try it themselves. But this is how we ceramic tiled our bathroom. I hope you picked up a few pointers. The main reason Natalie isn't in here with me is that one bathtub is not big enough for 2 of us. Should I say that or not?
It's hardly big enough for one of you either,
thank
dear.
you. But really, putting up a bathtub shower enclosure isn't that difficult. You get 4 pieces of aluminum channel in the kit, plus the 2 sliding doors. Now the doors, they're, you know, all price varieties. For example, the least expensive have a plastic, like glass in them. Mm-hmm. Then you can go up to the more super deluxe ones that have a tempered glass. But really, either of them are better than a shower curtain, in my opinion. In my opinion.
You really got to think about shower curtains.
I really don't like shower curtains. I really don't care for them at all.
I just hope there aren't any sponsors and make shower curtains on this show.
Since when has that prevented us from saying what we think?
That's true.
All right, but let me show you how to begin. And why don't you move just a little bit, honey,
Okay.
and I can show them how to measure this. The first thing you have to do, you have to put this piece down along the top of the existing tub, and this is going to be the bottom track that's going to hold the doors in place. Now, of course, you have to measure across here, and you measure from, just like this, from one side to the other, And this happens to measure exactly 58 1/8 inch. Well, what you want to do, because you want the end pieces to slip all the way down and this to go inside, you want this a little bit short, about 5/32 short. So let's make it about 55, and 2 is 57, about 57 7/8. And I think that'll do it fine, okay? You agree with me?
You say so.
57 7/8. Now, another thing that you have to remember, once you cut this, it's cut.
That's it.
And I know this the hard way.
Yes,
Natalie
he
will
does.
attest to that.
I will. Yes.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's take this one. And, oh, another thing, too, that makes it so great, you know, is that all the manufacturers now are putting out instructions,
nice.
usually packed with them. Yeah. And the art isn't that great, but it's
lots
step
of nice
by step.
pictures,
And
though.
it'll really show you how to do it if you follow them very closely. And it's written in a language that almost anyone can understand. All right, enough about that. Now let's get on and let's cut this channel. And we'll put it right down here on our little workbench.
Do you like working out of a bathtub?
Well, if I stay like this, then more people can see what I'm doing.
I
So would you line that up with
Yes,
the
I
end?
will.
All right, let's come down here. And
It's all right if you cut it too long, Wally, but please don't cut it too
All right,
short.
let me-
If you cut it too short, you've got to go out and buy a
hey,
whole
you're
new
supposed to be
bathtub.
helping me. I want
am.
to scoot it
I
down.
am.
Okay, get it right over the end.
Yep. Well,
You got it?
well, I'm trying. Okay. go
Got
ahead.
it?
Yeah.
All right, let me mark it right here. I said 57 7/8.
I think that's correct.
Okay. Now I've got that mark on.
Camera crew saying yes. It's okay, Wally.
All right, 57 7/8, and let me mark it here. Now, when you cut, I think it's easier when you cut an extruded aluminum channel like this to cut it from the back, which is the flat side.
To cut
so
a
just
what?
turn it over from the back on the flat side.
That's not the word. A what?
Use the
Channel?
aluminum extrusion.
Oh.
Now, use a hacksaw and simply cut. And try to make your cut as square as possible because then it's going to look a lot better, okay? And don't press too hard on the hacksaw blade or it'll break.
Oh.
Natalie, what key would you say I was sawing in?
That key just sends me.
All right, now let's see if it fits, okay?
That's worse than what, chalk on a blackboard?
All right, now see, you want just a little bit of play in there because now your end channels
Oh, I see. Go on.
are going to come
either
down just
side.
like this, and you want them to fit all the way down, and then this channel to fit inside. So that's just about right. Where
And
we
that
have
goes
it right
against the
there.
wall?
And the end channels go right up against the wall, just like that. So that worked out pretty well. Now, what you do, of course, there is no way for you to actually put a
Attach
screw
it.
down into the tub. So you use an adhesive that comes in the kit. Another thing to make sure, the channel on one side will have holes like these, and on the other side will not. Be sure that the holes are put facing the tub, because that's so any accumulated water that gets inside can drain back into the bathtub.
Oh.
All right, now you simply open the tube, and it's like a tube of toothpaste, and this sets up pretty fast.
Fun.
Let's see here. Need a little thing to stick down in there. Okay. Well, that's
Is that a
better.
little better? Okay. Now,
Now simply put this right along.
just in one, like you're doing it, you don't have to spread it out.
No.
It'll spread when
you just want
clamp
a
it to the-
bead, and you put this right along the edge, and this is going to harden and hold it in place. Okay, you know what's great for something like this is a tube squeezer. You ever seen a tube squeezer?
You're kidding.
No.
There is a tube squeezer,
There's
and
a thing
I
called-
assume somewhere in your workshop you have one, right?
That's right. In fact, we may even use it today. Okay.
There you go.
This stuff is pretty stiff, as you can tell. Now,
Yeah.
once you get this down, what you do then, you turn it over. Now,
Get your
where you
mic.
want it right in the center of the flat spot of the tub. Just about right there. Center it, push it down, and you can do this. I always do this just by
Yeah.
sight.
I think you can. If you're
There
off
we
the
are.
quarter
Now you got
inch,
that
who
down. Now this is the
cares?
base track, and now you're ready to start on the side pieces. Now the side pieces, of course, you want to hold that one up? They go up just like this, and depending on the kind of walls you have, depends on how you mount them. But one thing that you must do, regardless of the kind of wall, you want to get the side pieces up perfectly straight.
sure, yes.
So you need a level. And let's take our level and get it out and put the level right alongside the strip as you hold it in place. And then move it back and forth until the little bubble goes right in the center. and then you know that it's true vertical. And you get it right on true vertical, and then take a pencil line and put a mark down it like that. That takes care of that one. And then let's come over and do the same thing to this one. Now on this side, I put up just a few ceramic tiles to give you an idea of how you mount the bar in the event that you're trying to put it onto ceramic tile itself. If you do that, you're going to have to drill into the tile, and it isn't that complicated, but it's a little bit different than it is the other way, so we thought we'd show you how to do it.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you would on a lot of bathtubs.
All right,
You would
there's
have
a
a
mark
tile
for
coming
that.
out flush with the edge of the bathtub.
There you are. Now, let me start on this one right here first. Now, what you do, you put this up in place, line it up with your mark, and the channel is already drilled with screw holes. So, take a pencil, if it's just an ordinary wall, and put your marks right into the screw holes, like this. Now, you always want to drill, even if it's drywall. Don't just take and put a screw directly into the wall, because you can put one in that's going to hold much, much better. Now, you get all the little knots gone. Take an electric drill, and depending on this type of device, this is a little plastic plug that you put into the hole that'll hold the screw. Depending on the size, this is what determines the size of the bit you use.
The size of the bit.
All right, let's plug it right. All right, now see, you just drill the hole and then take the little plastic insert and push it right into the wall. You do that all the way up, and then your channel goes on top of that, and you screw right into it. All right, in a couple of minutes, you can at least get one up. So there's the one up on that side, and now I'll show you what to do on the ceramic tile. Again, make sure they're marked on the back. As you can see, this says top, which means that does indeed go at
That
the top.
means top. I was
Yeah.
thinking, this kind doesn't have one that comes across the top.
Oh, yeah. We'll put that up later.
Oh, all right.
Now, would you hold that in place for me
Sure.
right there, Natalie? Nice and tight. And what we're going to do
you gotta drill.
is now drill into the ceramic tile.
Can you use
Now,
the same?
Well, I used the masonry bit in the drywall, and now we'll use a masonry bit here. Now, I like to do it best this way, and simply put the bit right up against the tile, and then push. And when you push, that breaks the glaze, and then you can drill.
Am I on
Okay.
the line? I can't tell.
You're right on the line.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, let's drill another one. Now, when you push right now, listen.
Ooh!
Did you hear the glaze breaking?
No. I felt the wall coming down.
Okay. Let's hold this one. Whoop. Now,
What's the matter?
we got away from it.
Oh. Well, that's all right.
Okay, tell you what let's do. Now, let's put those two in. If that happens
Yeah.
to you, what you can do is put the other two in, and that'll hold it, and then you can drill the third one. So now let's push the little plastic insert in. Push it in right there. And now take your screws and run your screws into the plastic inserts. What happens is the little plastic insert is the same diameter as the hole you drilled. But then when you take the screw like this and push or turn the screw up into the plastic insert expands. And when it expands, of course, it gets even tighter in the hole you drilled. And that's what holds this thing in place. They're very good anchors. And about the only thing you can use in ceramic tile. See how nicely that tightens up? All right, let's put another one up
You're
here.
off a little on your hole there.
All right, what we do then,
It's
Loosen.
loose.
loosen this one just enough. There we are. We can get this one in.
You think so? I don't know.
You question me, dear. The way this has
As
been...
long as the camera doesn't get too close.
Well,
we're
it's going in at a slight
it?
angle, but everything else in this house is a little crooked too. Well, watch, it'll straighten right up.
all right. All right.
Now,
You know, maybe it is a better
now that we
idea.
have it secure, we can go ahead and drill the third hole.
Yeah, to drill them as you go. Put them in and then drill the next one.
Well, hold on to it. Here we- There we are. And now the other plastic insert. Pull it out, push it in, and then we can tighten up all three of them. But, you know, putting things in ceramic tile, here I have this, putting things in ceramic tile isn't that tough to do with an electric drill and, of course, a masonry bit. Now, another thing that we have them all up, I forgot something.
Uh-oh, what'd you forget?
I forgot to put the little bumper cushion on the door.
Oh, is it just on one end?
No, it's on both of them. See the little bumper cushion
Is that
there?
what this is?
Yeah, that's what keeps the door from clanging when you close it.
Oh, I see.
So
Oh, you
let's
just
pull
need
it
one
out.
on one of these?
On one screw head, you put it right under here like this. Slip your screw into it, and then that gives you a nice little bumper cushion.
Isn't that clever? Do you know what I have trouble with? I have trouble keeping the doors on the tracks.
Particularly in medicine cabinets, right?
Everywhere. Anything that's got a track, I guarantee you I can get it off. And the shower doors, too.
Do the shower doors come on?
Yeah.
But see, now that gives you a nice little bumper. And
Oh, that's okay.
let's put this one on over here, too. Now, I really think we should do things right, Natalie.
Well, if you have the time, of course.
If I were at home, you'd make me do it right.
You're so right.
Okay.
This is really very, very simple. I haven't read the instructions.
You know, this is no more difficult than putting up a dumb shower curtain. You know, all those hooks you got to hang on and snap the shower curtain through.
I didn't know you had such strong feelings about shower curtains until today. You see, you can be married to somebody for years and never know things about them.
Well, we've never had one.
Yeah, you've got 3 minutes to get that screw in there, Wally.
Okay, there we go. Now, the frame is all up, and the rest of it, Natalie, is very, very simple.
Yes, sure.
You don't believe me?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me show you. All right, you hold this, and let me pull the doors around here.
Oh, you got the cheapy kind, didn't you?
I got the cheapy kind, that's right, it's a plastic kind. Now, honey, take that channel right there and hold it up like this, horizontally. Okay.
Don't you have to cut it?
Nope. Oh, well, wait, maybe I do have to cut it. I haven't even checked that, have I? All right, let me check it right quick. And see if it should come out the same as the base one, shouldn't it? So,
About, I would assume.
unless the wall is off a
Maybe
little bit higher.
longer than the base.
Whoops.
Here. May I measure it?
And butt it right into the ceramic tile, dear.
I am.
No, here, honey, not
Right
like
into
that.
here?
Not like that, like this. Just like this.
Well, how can you read it? You've got an extra inch.
56, 58, okay? So it is the same. This is always allowed for 2 inches, you see right here.
I see.
In fact, this one happens to be 2.5 inches. So it's 58 and a
I don't
quarter.
know.
Okay, let's move this off just a little bit there. And we'll pull this out. How much time do we have?
A minute.
1 minute?
Oh, time flies when you're having fun.
You're so bad. Okay, 58 inches, I measured it, right?
You measured it. I didn't. I'm not going to take any responsibility for when you make a wrong
All
cut.
right, let's see if I can finish it in a minute.
I don't know this. The camera's smiling. That sound doesn't repel
30
you?
seconds, come on, don't talk, let's work. Now, turn it around like
That
this.
really just sends shivers up my spine.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, lift up your end. Lift it up.
This, ow!
Lift it up.
Oh, isn't that clever?
Okay.
Yeah, hey, how about that?
Now, we put the darling,
Yeah,
try to line these up on the tracks
okay.
and let it drop in. Like that.
Very good. And then just put this up here?
And
You put
then
another
this just drops
screw?
right over the top.
You don't put another screw in?
Don't put another screw in it. And volley, look at that.
You really don't put
Bathtub enclosure put up complete.